Spooky Sunday. How we doing, everybody? We are back, early morning edition, rocking with Moving the Chains. Your man, Sammy, the man, McIntyre. How we doing, everybody? I got a couple slogans I want to come. Here come the Irish. Woo! We got them Georgia Bulldogs. We got them dogs. They hunted last night, and they kicked Texas's ass. I'll get into that game. Florida, all the rumors with Lane Kiffin. Is he going to go there? Is he going to the NFL? Who knows? Lane Kiffin kicked ass last night. Kind of struggled early, but they found a way to beat Florida last night. I'll touch on that game. I want to touch on the Michigan Northwestern game, how cool of a scenery that was in Wrigley Field. Iconic. Northwestern, I mean, they have one of the best advantages in all of college football. I mean, that's an attractive place in Chicago, behind the lake. I mean, fantastic. I mean, Jesus, can't place it any better. Them, Wisconsin, the Big Ten, these. I mean, it's just insanity. But I want to start with Notre Dame against Pitt, in Pitt yesterday. What a cool scene. I mean, they had College Game Day there. They had Aaron Donald got inducted into the Ring of Honor. It was fantastic. And I didn't know this. I heard this on PFT. They have, like, a lot of Hall of Famers. I mean, Louis Riddick, who covered, who I have a ton of respect for. He covered the Ole Miss Florida game. I'll get to that game in a second. He went to Pitt. Very smart, studious. Dan Marino, Aaron Donald, Tony Dorsett. They had the street, Tony Dorsett. I mean, it just felt like Lambeau Field with Brett Favre Street. I mean, it was cool. But the game did not turn out that way. And I'm watching Notre Dame, and they just, I can't say enough. I mean, they are kicking ass, taking names. I love Marcus Freeman. He's not going to the NFL. I've heard rumors. I know Ryan Bliss, who thought, oh, he could go. No, I don't see it, okay? Respectfully. I think Marcus Freeman's staying at Notre Dame. Staying at Notre Dame. He's not going nowhere. Now, something could change. Money talks, shit walks. But I'm telling you right now, the way Marcus Freeman's got this program rocking and rolling, the way that they're just recruiting really well, he's got a likability to him compared to Brian Kelly, where it was kind of, he had his face really plum and purple. And I like Brian Kelly, but that's who he was. Gruff Northeastern guy. But I will tell you this. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Notre Dame. Jeremiah Love, I mean, I hate Booger McFarland, but he made a point last night at the halftime show. Texas, Georgia, I'll get to that game too. I forgot to touch on that. Is that we can give Jeremiah Love all the credit. This offensive line is absolutely mauling people at the point of attack, getting up to the second level on linebackers. We could talk about Jeremiah Love all day, and I know Kevin Craner talked about it when I DM'd him one night. I think it was the USC game, and I much love to Kevin Craner, one of my guys at the gym, along with a couple other people I want to give shout-outs to. But he's elite. And if he's not top 15, first-round pick, I'm going to be losing my sleep because there's no way he's not. I read some comparisons. He could be Reggie Bush. He could be this. I don't know. But all I know is that guy can play. Him and Price, fantastic backfield duo. You can't find a better one in college football. You just can't. Maybe you have to go back a little bit. I mean, maybe Georgia when they had the three-headed monster, not the two, of, sorry, I'm looking up. I'm trying to think here. Of when Sony Michel, Todd Gurley, and Nick Chubb. You can think of that. You can think of other ones, but those ones come to my mind. But watching yesterday, was just fantastic. And Notre Dame is not going nowhere. That's a great job. And listen, they can be delusional like most college fan bases are in NFL. Every football fan base is delusional, okay? You know, I'll get to Alabama, Oklahoma another day, but that's another game I want to touch on. I want to touch on other games I got on my mind, including South Carolina. Jesus. I feel for my guy, Lenore's Big Play Sellers, but that's besides the point. But great win for Notre Dame yesterday. They kicked ass. CJ Carr looked really good. My buddy Andrew, a shout out to him, my buddy, who I'm at the Lions game from New Jersey. There's been some talk the Raiders could get him. CJ Carr, Lloyd Carr, Michigan connection. He can't come out till next year with the Raiders tank. I don't know. A lot going on there. But he texted me yesterday because he's not a big college guy and he knows I watch it. And he was asking me about him. And I'm like, I think he's pretty solid. I'd have to go type, send a DM to Daniel Jeremiah or John Middlecoff who know this. But I'm just watching as a fan from my couch. And I like him. I think he's got a good deep ball. Throws with anticipation. Good touch. Threw some mistakes yesterday. Threw it right to the guy that walked in. I think he was defensive end. So I kind of saw that. Didn't look great. But he hasn't made a lot of mistakes all year. He's a downfield aggressive thrower. Takes some chances. Yesterday I'm watching that Pitt kid, the quarterback, and he's impressive. Not against Notre Dame. I watched him yesterday, and my take was, I kind of like him. He's a freshman. He needs more time. If he came out right now, I would not draft him. I've been telling his agent, if there was the possibility, stay in school, because he's got a lot of work to do. Notre Dame played a lot of press man yesterday. Chris Ash, the defensive coordinator, mixed it up. I thought that was fantastic. So they got this team running, and I don't think they're going nowhere. They have a chance to go to the Natty and get in the dance. As long as you got Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame, you're going to get in the dance, and we'll see how far the Notre Dame Fighting Irish go. I touched on Michigan Northwestern yesterday in Wrigley Field. How cool was that? If you're a football fan, that's like equivalent to like football, just fantasy. Playing a game in Wrigley Field in Chicago, fantastic. It just was so cool. And on the game side of it, I thought, and I remember my buddy Brody Solomon put on his story, he said, they gave me a heart attack yesterday. I went back, I watched the highlights last night. Now, granted, I had my cheat day last night. Shout out to Giordano's. Puts a food coma in my stomach. I'm sitting there, oh my God. But I watched that game last night. And my take was, I'm with Brody Solomon. That was a heart attack game. Why was that close? If I'm Michigan, why? Northwestern's a tough program. Pat Fitzgerald, what they brought, the way that they get kids, I'm not disputing that. The Northwestern played hard yesterday, and they played tough. But Michigan, that should have been a blowout. I'm watching it, and it kind of got close. And Bryce Underwood made that terrible mistake. He's still a freshman. The raw talent that kid has, the horsepower, that kid mold him. And Michigan better mold him, because that kid could be a star at the next level. Could be. I'm not saying he is. But the way his traits are, the way it lines up, fantastic. Him and Lenore Sellers, to me, are kind of similar. Both athletic freaks. Play a decent football program. Michigan more iconic than South Carolina, but people get my drift. But you can be like old, and you can just turn the sound off and go, yeah, that's different. They don't build humans like that. So Bryce Underwood, to me, still got a lot of room to grow. I feel like I watched a Harbaugh game yesterday. Bring in tight ends, 6 offensive linemen, smash mouth football. That's the kind of football I like to see. And I'm all for the aerial assault attack offense and all that stuff. But when it gets down to nitty-gritty, football is won in the trenches, and it is. And I remember I saw an interview with Coach Zolman at Homestead here in Fort Wayne, and they, brought the fact that a lot of football coaches think the same way. You got to win up front, and you got to win on both lines of scrimmage. And Michigan's doing that. They got after that quarterback yesterday. I didn't even know his name. They've had so many different ones. They had that Helinski kid. He passed away, unfortunately. They had a bunch of other kids. I don't know. So, great win by Michigan. They did get the win. They eked it out. Sometimes you got to get one of those wins. But great job by Michigan yesterday. Northwestern, it is what it is on your season. But I was just very impressed by Michigan getting a gritty, tough win in Wrigley Field against Northwestern, which, my God, that could have been my fantasy dream yesterday. That, or when I went to Madison to go watch Wisconsin. Behind the lake. There's just so many different things. The Big Ten scenery with these colleges, just fantastic. Michigan, Northwestern, Wisconsin, to name a few. Bucket list. I got to go see Northwestern and go to a game behind the lake. Fantastic. I know a couple people that went to Northwestern. Shout out to my cousin, Caitlin McIntyre, with their baby. I'm happy for you. And then my Uncle John and my Aunt Kim, my dad's brother, and his wife, they both went to Northwestern. And that was so much fun to watch yesterday. So the other 2 games I wanted to touch on. I got to give a shout out to my cousin Alex and Alex's new wife, soon-to-be new wife, Anna Beth. She went to Georgia. That was absolutely an absolute ass-kicking last night. I loved every minute of it. Now listen, I love Kirby Smart. I love Georgia football. I just have so much respect for that program. If there's a word that comes to mind, elite. That's what it is. And I remember Kirby Smart last night. They want to get down and dirty. They want to beat your ass. And it feels like a Navy SEAL thing. And I kind of agree with that when I heard those quotes this morning, was, everybody's all hyped up and everybody's all that. When you get in that pool and you get in that hell thing, how are you going to come out? Are you going to come out great on the other side, or are you going to come out weak? How mentally tough are you? And I'm watching Georgia last night. This is 3 times in a row. They have just physically whipped Texas up front. I mean, they have just mollywopped, took them behind the shed, slaughtered them like sheep. It's unfair. And don't tell me Texas doesn't have athletes. Okay, I'll get to them in a second. But Georgia is just built different. They look like an Alabama coach football team. They really do. Very good on the details, well coached, and just composed all night. And I got to give Gunnar Stockton credit. I thought game manager is kind of like Stetson Bennett. I don't know. And then I'm watching him. He was very efficient last night. They get the run game going. That's the key to Georgia. You get that run game going. There's been times this year where they haven't got the run game going. But Kirby's smart. He wants to get that run game going. He wants to get that physicality. He's a defensive kind of guy. Wants that impose your will, tough, thing. And I'm watching last night. They imposed their will on Texas. They whipped their ass. And I was all for it. Because I got to tell you, watching Georgia football, SEC don't get better than that. In the night, Athens, another one of I'm writing that down. I'm just thinking, man, I got so many. I'm still young, but man, there's so many college experiences I got to hit. A lot of them SEC. And some Big Ten. But the SEC showed me yesterday. I'm watching games. Oklahoma, I'll get to another day. I've got so many other games I got to touch on. But USC, Iowa, and just a couple other ones. IU winning. Fernando Heisman, who knows. But I'm watching yesterday. And the SEC to me, when eye test matters, first impressions sometimes matter. Yeah, they pass the eye test. The athletes, the big, the fast, physical, you name it, man. They literally impose their will on you. And they do. And Gunnar Stockton impressed me last night. The way that Kirby listen, Texas came back. I was like, oh, it's 21. I'm watching. I've kind of got a food coma, like I said before, Giordano's. Holy shit. And then I had a thought, glad I only get that a few months. But I'm watching that game, and I got to tell you, I came away half asleep. I'd worked all day, and I watched it, and I went, whoa. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, Georgia's in trouble. Okay, Georgia's kind of... Early on, I went, oh, this is going to be a game. Okay. And then we all saw what happened. Halftime adjustments happened. Kirby Smart's the best at that in college football. I saw a stat that 61 wins when he's up by double digits at halftime. It was 14-3. I'm like, yeah, they're winning this game. And they're winning this game convincingly because I don't trust Texas at all. And I'm watching Georgia last night, impressed. They're running the ball really well. Their defense, not what it used to be. But, God, they got after Arch last night. They got after him hard. They hit him. I thought it was pretty cool that they showed Peyton Manning at the game last night, obviously watching Arch. And, they when he played at Tennessee, he played against Kirby, And I thought that was pretty cool. Kirby Smart picked off Peyton Manning. That was a cool, little side note. But just impressed by Georgia. They're always going to be in the dance as long as Kirby's there. He's an excellent, excellent football coach, elite. Learned from the best under Nick Saban. And you just see it. I mean, their team plays hard, fast, down and dirty, physical. Yeah, I'm all for it. And this feels like an Alabama 2.0 kind of football team. And the way they were composed last night, only one penalty the entire game, absolutely fantastic. And on the flip side to Texas, I was very disappointed last night. Very disappointed in Texas. I don't know what to make of them. I got to make this claim. Texas football, mainly the Longhorns, not Texas Tech. They're obviously winning right now. Top team in the country. How good are they? I don't know. They're playing the Big 12. I don't make much of it. But I'm watching A&M kick ass yesterday. I'm watching a couple of these other Texas schools. Texas don't even come close. They have been so underachieving my entire college football watching existence. 18 years, college and pro. It's unbelievable. I'm being dead serious. They should have had 6 natties by now. And listen, Texas is flashy and fun and sexy and the burnt orange and all that. Yeah, I got it. When it comes down to actual football, hell no. Their team looked so unprepared last night from a team that had a week off. It felt like 2, right? Because they had a bye week, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be a game. Didn't feel like that last night. It felt like a beatdown last night. And Steve Sarkisian, once again, This is the knock on Sark. He gets a little loose, a lot of flashy, a lot of, all that. And I'm watching last night, didn't look right to me for my eye test. 9 penalties last night, 7 in the first half. I mean, it was just stupid shit football. It was blocking the back. It was this. It was that. No, that's not winning football. And listen, we can bang on Arch all day, and he's improved a lot. He has. But I've watched him twice against elite defenses. Kind of get taken the woodshed a little bit. Now, not all his fault with Arch. He's got a long way to go. I mean, he's not some polished prospect yet. I watch a lot of stuff. And Chris Sims does this quarterback thing, and he's on Patrick, and, Dan Patrick trusts him, and I trust Chris Sims too, because I watch the same shit. I got a lot of football people that I kind of trust. Daniel Jeremiah's, Bucky Brooks's, John Middlecoff's my guy. So I kind of lean on those people because they've been scouts before, and Chris Sims played in the league, and he knows it. But I'm watching Arch, and something's off. He missed throws last night, like the deep over, that Steve Sarkisian special. I'm watching other stuff. It doesn't look right. So I'm glad he's coming back. He's like a Manning, stayed in school, get your education. That matters, and then go play in the NFL. I think he will. But he's got a long way to go. Now, he's made improvements. I'm not disputing that he hasn't. If I was giving his performance grade last night, I would say a C, being respectful. I was thinking about that driving this morning. It was very productive. Got my coffee, bought my new sunglasses, got me feeling nicey, okay? Besides the point. So I'm watching, and I just feel like, to me, he's got a long way to go. Long way to go. But I'm impressed with Arch. The way he's commanding it, he was putting a leadership on last night. You could see it. He was pretty distraught last night. But for good reason. He's hard on himself. And I also think Kirk Herbstreit talked about this and touched on the broadcast. Was he had to, he got a little bit in his head a little bit. All the expectations, unrealistic, which I didn't, but a lot of people do. That's what hype happens. But he looked okay last night. And the sky's not falling. But watch out, because there should be some heat on Sark. Like, come on, dude. At some point, you got to win this natty. You got all this talent. You got the biggest payroll in college football, I think at $20 million or something. It's an elite program. But I feel like a lot of people are in that cookie jar. Doesn't feel right to me. So, just on that note with Texas, sloppy game, wasn't impressed. And Texas football, Longhorn-wise, a little overrated in my opinion. So, last game I wanted to touch on was Florida Ole Miss last night. And, I wanted to watch both. I kind of had I was more focused on the Georgia. Excuse me, I'm trying to stretch here. Excuse me. Sorry, I got the neck cracking here. But I was trying to watch, I had Texas, Georgia mainly on, and I was kind of flipping back, and I went back and watched watched bits of the Ole Miss Florida game, but not the whole thing. So I sat back and watched this morning of Florida Ole Miss last night. And my takeaway from Florida's side of this, that's a program to me that feels like they made a deal with the devil. I've been mentioning this numerous times. That feels like it to me. DJ Lagway is a freak talent. Absolute freak talent. His traits, 6'3", he's insane. I think he's 6'3", 247. It's like 7 pounds heavier than Lenore Sellers. But that guy's a freak talent. Now, same thing to me, he better come out next year. Got a long way to go. Footwork's all over the place. Mechanically, it's all over the map. Throws too many picks. I've said this before. I'll deal with interceptions. How do you offset that with 30 touchdowns or something? Then I'm okay with it. Like Jordan Love a few years ago. 32 touchdowns, 11 picks. I live with that. That's fine. But the problem with DJ is he's throwing picks, but you're not getting the touchdowns with it. The LSU game. Last night, the picks he's throwing, I'm like, what is he seeing? What's he doing? Doesn't look right, and it looks uncomfortable. And, you can blame, they fired Billy Napier. I don't know what it is. I don't watch enough Florida games to know. But I'm watching last night. This morning, I watched the whole game. Looks uncomfortable to me. Louis Riddick talked about it. His footwork's all over the place mechanically. Him and Arch need to come back another year. Same with Sellers. Those 3 guys need more time. I'm sorry. I know we're hard on these kids because we're impatient. I fall victim to this. But I'm watching. It doesn't look right to me. Does not look right. And they've got to get that right, the ship righted down in Florida, because they should be better offensively. Now, it's a struggle. Their offensive line got mollywopped last night by Ole Miss, and I'll touch on them in a second because it looked impressive. But they did not look right last night. DJ Lagway's got a long way to go. There was a lot of dumb picks for me. Now, I can deal, like I said just a second ago, I can deal with that as long as you're offsetting that with 30 touchdowns. I'm fine with that. And how are the picks? Are you throwing it right to the guy? You're getting fooled? Okay. But didn't look right to me from DJ Lagway's perspective. But Florida, they're a crapshoot. I mean, Jesus, man. How many more years are we going to hear how great we are? Stop it. You made a deal with the devil when Urban Meyer won your natties, and you haven't done dick since. You know, you stupid shit, stupid prizes. Like, that's what happens. And Florida, and I give DJ a ton of credit. He played his ass off last night, but just wasn't enough. And I'm not putting this all on DJ. Some of it on him, but some of this on the Florida program. Like, they just feel like something's down there in the water. I don't know what it is. Maybe alligators are biting their program. I don't know. Maybe they're getting in the teacher's lounge. I don't know. But the last thing, I want to touch on Ole Miss, because that was impressive last night in Oxford under the lights. It's another game experience I have to experience. It looked fantastic. So I'm watching last night, and to me, when I watch it, that was impressive by Lane Kiffin. And we know the rumors. You heard it too. Is he going to Florida? Is he not? I don't know what he's doing. I got to tell you, he's staying at Ole Miss. And if I'm him, why the H would I leave? There's no way I'm leaving. Listen, he's got this program rolling. Louis Riddick talked about it, the way he does NIL, the transfer portal, knows how to deal with a modern offense. They run an NFL offense. It really looks like that. The two offenses I've said before I love to watch is Heupel at Tennessee and Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. It is fantastic to watch. You know, you can get ideas from it. And I'm watching Lane Kiffin. He looks energized. He looks rejuvenated. He looks fantastic. He does that hot yoga. Maybe I got to get out of my comfort zone. Who knows? I know Middlecoff tried to, and he got out of his comfort zone, did hot yoga. Maybe I'll try it in the summer. Who knows? Trying to broaden my horizons. But my point is, I'm watching last night, that for Trinidad Chambliss, I mean, what a name. What a fucking star that guy is. Jesus, came out the womb looking like a beast. He looked like it last night. I mean, he can run, he can throw. You know, if he was a prospect, I think he's coming out because I think he's been in college a while. He'd be like a second-round pick to me. I see the talent. I see something. I think he's a great kid. I haven't heard any problems with him. So who knows? But I'm watching, man, and then that Lacey kid. What a steal they got. I mean, he was at Missouri. He was like kind of riding behind that Hardy kid who looks like Steven Jackson in his prime for the Rams. And he didn't get much touches. And then they had Junkins for 22 and 23. Like, you know, and then they've had really good run games. That's the other thing with Lane that I appreciate. A lot of these guys that want to sling that pill around, they don't want to run the ball. They don't want a good offensive line. Lane was around it. Lane was around his dad. He's a coach's son. Monty Kiffin, who most of you don't know, was with Gruden in Tampa and with Dungy, right? Tampa 2 defense, Derek Brooks and all those guys. He's been around it. And he knows the importance of defensive and offensive line play. And they whipped Florida up front last night. And you saw it. I mean, the last 2 years I've watched Ole Miss games, their defensive line is suffocating. Walter Nolan last year. And then you saw the plays, still a little inconsistent for my take, and we'll see how he fares in the NFL. But in terms of college, fantastic. Looked like Jalen Carter wrecking crew. I mean, he's a beast. And they got all these dudes that are running them in, waves of them. It's just impressive. And I'm happy for Lane. He got a second chance. He turned his life around, just like Steve Sarkisian I mentioned. You know, I'm happy for Steve too, but he's just, to me, something's missing there with that program. But I'm watching Lane and Steve Sarkisian change their lives around. People deserve second chances sometimes. We all go through crap. So, in Lane, I give a lot of credit to, reshaped his image, figured out what I do well, what I don't do well. So I go to therapy sometimes, right? I need help. Everybody does. You know, sometimes I got to go to therapy. Why am I an idiot? Why am I dumbass? That's why I think that. Get it, don't get it. So, impressed by Lane Kiffin and that staff and everything about Ole Miss. That running back looks fantastic. I mean, he's got 17 touchdowns this year. Unreal. He looks like a badass. He's tough. He's, you know, got the little center of gravity. I'm like, whoa, he's a beast. So, great win for Ole Miss last night. They're 10-1 for the third year in a row. Kicking ass, taking names. Now, what's going to happen when they get in the playoff? Who the hell knows? But they looked dominant last night, and it's all because of Lane Kiffin, Trinidad Chambliss, and that Lacey kid, and the way that they dominated Florida. So, hope you guys are doing well today. Got an early one in. I got a lot of other stuff I want to do today, but I got NFL content. We got more college stuff I want to touch on. Raiders, Cowboys tomorrow night. I'm recording this also while we got the Commanders-Dolphins game. I'll give you guys my reaction to that game tomorrow. Hope you guys are doing well. Love you guys. Love the support. Adios. Godspeed. Spooky, spooky Sunday.